What do you see as the most concerning and difficult to deal with contributor from a government's perspective to the rising sea levels and maybe to the general climate change?
It's really about our lives and our properties. And if Singapore as an economic hub is inundated a week, 2 weeks, it's going to bring the whole economic activities of Singapore down to a grind, and that will really hurt us badly. So that's really just sea level rise. So coastal protection, protecting ourselves, our properties, our livelihoods from the effect of sea level rise. It's but one effect of climate change. How do you get it right with a very flexible, adaptive, and yet effective strategy and implementation? I think is the challenge for us. If you're going to spend so much money into adaptation, why are we not looking at mitigation first? If we can mitigate the impact of climate change, is it not worth more than the amount of money that we're going to adapt to climate change? So mitigation is also something that we pay a lot of attention on. We don't have all the answers on hand, and we are searching for new technologies, we are searching for new solutions.
Do you see that solution involving China?
Very much so, very much so, in many, many ways. Humanity is trying to decarbonize after using carbon or fossil fuel for hundreds of years. So how do we restructure and change the systems across everything that we do, from the way that we travel, to things that we move things, to the things that we make things, to the way that we use things and communicate, our handphones, our laptops, for example. How do you change everything that we do and take carbon out of the equation? China is a leader in many of these green technology. You are big in solar panel, for example. You are big in EV. And I think you have a lot to offer. So part of my purpose here is to really look for opportunities for cooperation at the political level with your ministries, but also hope to bring opportunities for businesses to collaborate. I have noticed the revised nationally determined contributions to climate change made by China. As you said, there is the 双碳, 碳中和 and 碳达峰, which is peaking in 2030 and also net zero neutrality in 2060. I've also read several of your policies in detail, including deployment of renewable energy, including responsible consumption and production. The plans are very detailed and very comprehensive, and it's really a good model for many policymakers. At the same time, you are deploying, renewable energy as well as solar panels at a capacity that I think no other countries in the world can match.
Are you optimistic about people able to handle the climate challenge?
Well, I must say that at the rate that we are going, we have a significant gap. If you just look at Southeast Asia, it's a relatively young region with many people. There is a younger population that is in search of economic development, and they want better things in life. They want a better life. So if you look at the energy supply in Southeast Asia or in Asia in general, we are seeing a gap between what's available right now and what's the projected growth. And that's really part of the discussion that we have in Beijing at the Friends of Paris Agreement. How do we activate more finance? And I think what China and Singapore are doing in terms of green finance is really to try to leverage from government and also activating from the banks, from investors, from pension funds, for example, insurance companies, from philanthropies, really all segments where there's available resources to try to meet these needs. China has a lot to offer. I think the GDI, although there are about 7 or 8 items, you have public health such as vaccine and management of COVID, for example. You also have areas on climate and green transition, and you have the area on digital connection and digitalization. These are all areas where China government and the Chinese industries have lots of capabilities and resources.